What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. So we are 2 days out from the Miami Pro. It's pretty crazy. It feels like I just did the Pittsburgh Pro yesterday. Time is flying by. This whole prep season is flying by. We have the Miami Pro here in 2 days. So since then, just been getting back to normal diet, but my coach has been able to refeed me a little bit more, which has been super nice. I've had several burgers and fries from coach's orders since my show. We're just gonna bring a much improved package. I think conditioning will be a little bit better than Pittsburgh. And then also I'm gonna come in just a little bit more full. Muscles have a little bit more pop to it, a little bit more of a 3D look. It's gonna be a really exciting show. Looking forward to Saturday, but it's Thursday. We're here back at Wolf Gym, the best gym in Boca, and we are gonna hit the final workout of this prep for the Miami Pro. And we're gonna do chest and back today. So I was in Miami yesterday, I did a bunch of shoulders and arms with my client Kevin at Durozone Fitness, which is a dope gym, by the way. If you're in the Miami area or you're visiting, you have to check that gym out. But we are back at Wolf, which I'm not mad about because this gym is freaking epic as well. And we're gonna do chest and back today. So what I like to normally start with when it comes to chest, we're gonna start off with the chest portion first, is some sort of fly variation. So this could be like, you know, a dumbbell fly, a pec deck fly. But this M-Torture machine right here by NewTek is what we're using today. And NewTek is a newer, at least from my understanding, is like a newer equipment brand. I've only really heard about them in the last couple of years, but they are making some of the best pieces on the market right now. So Wolf actually just got this, and I've been obsessed with using this machine. The squeeze is so nice. So we're gonna start off here, about 3 sets of about 10 to 15 reps, and then we're gonna go into our main pressing movement for today's workout. So here, what I'm really focusing on is getting the blood pumping into my chest as much as possible. With the warm up, I want to get a pump. I always push pretty hard, but with the warm up, you know, I'm gonna push to about 80% versus closer to like 90 to 100. And as you saw, really controlling the weight, pausing at the peak contraction point, getting nice slow eccentrics, getting the most out of each rep. I want you guys to like really pay attention to how I control the weight, because that's what makes my workout so effective. How hard I push, but more importantly, proper form, and then making sure I'm really feeling the movement in each phase of the movement, right? The eccentric, the concentric, and then with the isometric holds, which are like the pauses at the peak contraction point. Stay hydrated, my friends. Using this this water jug, it's about a ½ gallon capacity right now because my coach is having me track my water intake, and it's way easier to keep track of how many times I fill this up than like a blender bottle. We're keeping the water intake pretty high right now. Just trying to flush all the toxins out of my body, helping me dry out as much as possible. Probably tomorrow we'll have to cut water a little bit just to help me make weight. But I'm gonna be sitting in the sauna today post-workout because I can sweat out a couple pounds pretty easily within like 20-25 minutes. And that's a set. Raw pump squared is insane. Like Lainey and I are obsessed with this product. It's literally like 15 bucks. I usually take Essentials pre-workout, which you guys have seen in previous videos, which is great, right? But I want a little bit of extra pump added to it, so we take pump squared by Raw. And Lainey and I literally just use like our gift card and buy like several at a time. We want to always keep it in stock. And the pump is insane from Raw pump squared. So you guys should definitely go check that out. Like obviously like training the right way is gonna help with the pump. And also eating a pre-workout meal is gonna help with the pump, right? Getting sodium in pre-workout is gonna help with the pump. But then you add something like Raw pump squared, icing on the cake. So you guys can use code PR at Raw Nutrition to pick up anything, protein powder, pump squared, electrolytes, you name it, Raw has it. We're doing some dumbbell bench press, so we're doing a slight incline with the dumbbell press. You can get such a deep stretch, which is why I really like this movement. Truth be told, I don't do it enough. I do a lot of machine pressing, which we're gonna do machine press next, but it's always good to throw a dumbbell press in. And we're gonna start off with the 75s and hopefully try to progress towards like the 110s probably by the last set. So we're gonna do 4 sets of about 8 to 10 reps here. Does anyone else hate having to bring heavy dumbbells back and forth to the rack every single time they're doing a dumbbell press? Because I will say that is mad annoying. All right, we got the 105s. Let's take them for a spin. Let's take them for a spin, baby. All right, we got 105 for 10 there. Honestly, right now, dumbbell bench feels really weird because I haven't done this in so long. It feels like, I would say last time I dumbbell bench was probably about 6 weeks ago. Because it's not something I normally really do, but wanted to switch it up a little bit today, and it's been feeling good, but kind of weird, kind of foreign, because I haven't done this this version of bench in a while. I bought this stringer at Gold's Gym Venice. Obviously, it looks vintage and it looks kind of cropped almost too. Yeah, I like rib tanks and I like compression stuff, but not all the time. Yeah. I can't do it every day. I got a compliment yesterday that someone said I looked like Franco Columbo.
Oh, hell yeah.
And I was like, all right, I'll take that. All right, we got the last set here. Last set, best set. Yeah, we are not getting that. Time for chest press. It's one of my favorite machines. I love this grip right here. It's so nice to get just a really defined squeeze in your inner chest. I always make the joke, like when you grow your inner chest, you start to get this like nice separation. And I always say you need to grow it enough where you can swipe a credit card down the middle. This is what this machine, especially with this neutral hammer grip, helps you out with, is getting that really, really nice inner chest squeeze. Set 1, we're gonna go up a little bit here, do 3 sets, and then we're gonna do some chest flies with cables, and that's gonna be the last chest thing we do, and then we're gonna transition to back and do 3 or 4 back movements. Getting some nice partials there, and didn't get as many reps as I thought I would, so I'm just gonna keep it here for the last set. And we're gonna do a rest pause, so go to failure. We're gonna rest 20 seconds and then go to failure again. Great technique to just push yourself a little bit harder than you push yourself in the past, which that's really all progressive overload means, guys. I get a lot of questions like, how do you progressively overload? And the obvious answer is weight. That's one of many ways you can progressively overload. Don't overthink it, just like you shouldn't be overthinking your workouts, you shouldn't be overthinking your nutrition. And when I say don't overthink it, I don't mean have no strategy, right? Have a strategy. I find that a lot of times people are so fixated on some little things in their fitness journey that really don't make that big of a difference. I've got messages from people or from clients like freaking out, they miss like 5 grams of protein in a day. Is that gonna make any fucking difference in the long run? No. Right, even in the short term, that's not really gonna make much of a difference. So don't overthink your fitness journey too much. Like, have a plan, have a clear strategy, but have fun with it and just focus on putting in your best effort. Because that's one thing that I'm really good at, is every time I train, even if I'm feeling weaker someday, I'm still putting in a good effort. Effort is something that no one can really control besides you. Even if you're working with a great coach, there's varying levels of success because there's varying levels of clients actually trying to follow the plan and put in their best effort, right? Remember, your effort is up to you, and it's one of the only factors that you can really control. When you train hard and just focus on pushing yourself, right? And if you push yourself further, right, then you don't need to overthink progressively overloading. You are gonna be progressively overloading as long as you're being aggressive with how you're working out. upset there. We're gonna do 2 working sets. We're gonna go way heavier because that shit was way too light. We're gonna try to get between 8 to 12 reps, and we're gonna squeeze for 1.5 seconds at the peak contraction point every single set, every single rep. All right, we're gonna go up this last set. I'm gonna take my watch off. I swear, my watch always rubs against this and I don't wanna scratch my watch. All right. It's only 1 set of back end, guys. Feeling pretty good already. I love high rows. Wasn't planning on doing high rows today, but the lat pull down machine that I wanted to use was taken, so we're improvising a little bit, which you're gonna have to do sometimes, right? Because if you don't have your own home gym, there's gonna be other people at the gym, and that means that sometimes the machine that you want is gonna be taken. So we're gonna do high row, which like I said, I still love. It just wasn't one of the exercises I planned on doing today. So doing it unilaterally, just so I can get a little bit better mind-muscle connection. It's typically easier with the unilateral exercise to feel it a little bit more because you're more focused on one side and you're isolating one side of your body versus doing both at the same time. So when I go heavier with high rows, I typically prefer unilateral versus bilateral. I'm tired. Slept well last night, had a good pre-workout meal, but we're kind of going through a depletion day today. I've been getting some extra carbs the last couple of days, no extra carbs today. Just back to normal, low diet because we got to make weight tomorrow. But after the weigh-ins tomorrow, my coach said we're getting another burger and fries because I've been waking up looking like 3 times better after every single burger and fries that we've done so far this prep, which is like we've probably done like 7 throughout this prep, and have a go-to burger spot, Charm City Burger and Deerfield Beach, so that's where I like to go. And I have a certain burger that I order pretty much every time called the Southern Belle. So good. And I get grass-fed patties, so they digest better. Looking forward to that, but we got to grind today. Like I said, we have to lose a few more pounds. It's always kind of a toss-up what they're gonna measure me at, but either I need to make 194 or 202, but just to play it safe, we're gonna try to get me slightly below 194 tomorrow. We're gonna finish off with 2 row movements. We're gonna do T-bar rows, and then we're gonna do this pendulum row right here. So we're gonna do 3 sets of each, and that'll conclude this workout. I'm feeling tired, but we're gonna push through and make these last 6 sets count. And then we're gonna go pose. And then after that, I won't bring you guys with me, but I'm gonna hit the sauna, hopefully get a little bit of water weight off me here today. Not training tomorrow. Check-ins are at 2 p.m. So if check-ins were like later on in the day, I would probably go try to train, but I just wanna chill in the morning. I'll probably hit the sauna tomorrow morning again. I've trained Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then today. So I've trained 4 days in a row, so my body definitely needs a break to rest up, to pose the way that I need to pose on Saturday. Whew. Yeah, that was a good set. Got one more here. T-bar rows, love-hate relationship. I love what they do to grow your back, but I hate them when I do them. It's kind of like squatting. Like, I don't find squatting particularly enjoyable, but it's obviously very effective and a great mass builder for your lower body. And that's a wrap on today's lift. So we're gonna go hit some posing, and then I'm gonna hit the sauna after. So I'll see you guys in the posing room in a second. All right, so we're currently weighing about 198. I'm just gonna practice some posing. I'm still kind of finalizing my routine because we are making some changes to my posing routine from the Pittsburgh Pro to Miami Pro. So my coach gets in town tomorrow, so we're gonna probably make the final touches. Still want to practice my posing, so practice the front. So one of the pieces of feedback I got from last show was that Tyler Mannion, who is one of the judges, hates this transition with the bicep flex. So had no idea. So not gonna be doing that again. That was one of the pieces of feedback. My coach sent my photos and videos and stuff to one of his IFBB Pro judge contacts, who's a judge down here in Florida. And he said that Tyler Mannion hates this transition, which I think is pretty dope, but if the judges don't like it and they dock you down for it, definitely not doing it. We're gonna switch up the transition, probably just do something, you know, a little bit more basic, like and then to the back. Then another piece of feedback I got was I need to open up my back a little bit more, which I agree. So I just need to open it up, and that's gonna help me get a little bit more width. So I just need to flare my lats a little bit harder out. But overall, feeling like we're in a much improved place. Like I said, the last couple weeks, my coach has been able to feed me a lot of extra food. I mean, I've been eating like 800, 600, 1,000 calories more than my base diet, like several times per week. My body fat has stayed the same, if not gone down. Also, just my muscle fullness has improved a lot. So we're gonna be looking juicy on stage, which I can't wait for Saturday. What's going on, guys? So now that the dust has settled from Miami, I want to kind of talk about the show, how it went. So super happy with how I did in Miami. So we ended up getting 13th place, and once again, a very stacked lineup. What I'm learning, right, is you just got to earn your stripes in the IFBB. And, you know, that was to be expected, and I know where I need to improve. So my coach and I, we actually FaceTimed a judge the other day, who he didn't judge me directly at these shows, but has a great eye for it, you know, has been a pro judge for a while. And really, my back just needs to come up, right? I need to get a little bit wider, a little bit denser in the back. My front shot's pretty darn good. We just need to make some improvements here this off season when it comes to my back. So that's going to be a major focus. Can't wait to eat a lot of food on back day, train my ass off on back day. It's going to be a lot of fun. The show went super well. I mean, it was really cool competing in my hometown, right? So I don't live like directly downtown Miami, but I live in the suburbs, pretty darn close. So it was about a 40-minute drive from my house, a little bit over that. But it was really cool being able to have some friends just come out, right? So a lot of my good buddies came out to support me, which was awesome. And not something that I really get, you know, the opportunity to happen a lot, right? Because a lot of the shows that I do are in other states, right? And I wouldn't expect, you know, my buddies to hop on a flight, go support me, unless it was like the Olympia, which we have Olympia goals, we have Olympia dreams. It's going to be happening here sooner than later. I think next year is when we're going to make a really, really big run for the Olympia. So we have one more show this year. That's the Denver Mile High Pro, which is sponsored by Armbrust Gym, which is a badass gym. If you're ever out in Denver, make sure to go to Armbrust. I've absolutely loved training there. Great equipment. They have like a whole massive leg day room, etc. But Miami, I mean, I think my posing was better. I came in definitely a little bit fuller, which was great, right? We still did the same sort of approach, right? We did the front load of the carbs. So instead of, deplete, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then starting to carb up hard on Friday night before the show, right? We started the carb load Monday, Tuesday, and then, started to back off a little bit more Wednesday, Thursday. Right, was hitting the sauna a lot, had to hit the sauna for 80 minutes on weigh-in day, which was Friday. So, whenever you check in, you have to get your height, and then you have to get your weight. And the frustrating thing is that depending on who's heighting you, like in Pittsburgh, I was heighted at 5'9". Here in Miami, I was heighted at 5'8", and 8 and like 3/4 or 8.5, something like that. So that actually can make a pretty big difference in terms of being able to make weight or not. Because if I'm a little bit over, let's say they heighted me at like 5'9" and like 1/4, well then my weight cap would be 202 versus if I'm 5'9" or 5'8.5", right, then my weight cap's 194. And trust me, those 8 pounds make a huge, huge difference. And really do think that, especially for men's physique, the weight caps aren't fully proportional in my opinion. And I think a lot of like shorter guys, sub 5'10", sub 5'11", agree with me that it's like, we're all pretty dense. We have to, compete against some of these guys that are absolutely massive and, 6'1", et cetera. Because in the amateur league, right, you have, classes based on your height. In the pro league, right, everyone just competes together. So we're trying to go against some guys that, their weight cap is like 30, 40, 50 pounds heavier than ours, which makes it, difficult, especially if that person who's tall, fills out their weight cap. They're going to be freaking huge. Definitely a huge size difference. So I would like to see, obviously I don't have the most pull right in the IFBB. It's all going to come down to like Tyler Mannion and the judges and, everyone that's on the internal board for the IFBB. But really do think that the weight cap should go up at least a couple pounds for some of the shorter height classes within open men's physique in the IFBB Pro League. But anyways, not complaining about that, right? We made weight. We sucked down from like 197 that day all the way to 191. So I actually made weight with about 3 pounds to spare. 194 was my weight cap. But here in Denver, the game plan is going to be pretty similar. Don't think we're going to do anything wildly different, but the lineup shouldn't be quite as stacked. It's really hard to kind of beat the lineups that I've competed against in Pittsburgh and in Miami. But with this last show, the main goal is to get first call-outs. So I was third call-outs in Pittsburgh, second call-outs in Miami, and then the goal for this last show is to get first call-outs. So just getting better show by show. People, have been hitting me up, like, how you feeling about how you did in the show? And like I said, I feel really good about how I did in the show, right? I'm not expecting to be necessarily like, yes, I would love to be getting first, right? The guy who won first at Miami was Brandon Hendrickson, and he's won the Mr. Olympia a couple times. I know I need some more time, but I love the process. I'm not afraid of the grind. In fact, I'm really, really looking forward to this off season. I think it's going to be just so much fun. Lainey and I have a lot of travel and stuff coming up later this year. We have a couple international trips, so that'll be fun. But the game plan really is like just finish out this season as strong as possible, show out in Denver. My parents are actually flying to Denver to come support me, which is going to mean a lot to me. Then I have some clients out there. So, want to do my best for all my supporters, for all you guys. And then from there, I'll probably take, a week off the gym, or at least a deload week, because my body definitely needs it. And then from there, it's just, full throttle, reverse diet into a growing phase. I'm just super excited to just make the improvements, because next year, like I said, is going to be the big run for the Olympia. So you gotta love the process. And quite honestly, if you don't love the process, you probably shouldn't bodybuild, right? Because bodybuilding, progression is not overnight within bodybuilding. So you have to be in it for the long haul. You have to enjoy it, and I certainly do. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. Thank you for the support. I'll see you guys in the next one. If you guys have any questions, let me know. I want to do a Q&A here sometime soon on YouTube. I think that would be, just really, really insightful. So you guys can ask your fitness questions, ask about my life, my journey, whether that's my journey with bodybuilding or entrepreneurship or whatever, right? I just want to keep providing you guys value, and I want to keep on, connecting with you guys the best that I can. So Appreciate you guys watching this video. I will try to I kind of get like locked in pretty hardcore on like show day before. But in Denver, I'll be using Laney's little vlogging camera, which I'm actually vlogging on right now. And I'll be getting some more behind the scenes clips and hopefully get some trips of the travel as well for the vlog. But see you guys in the next one. If you like this video, if you like my style of content, please give me a like, please subscribe and comment down below or share with a friend. That would mean a lot. Alex Gibson, IFBB Pro out. See you guys in the next video.